What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today, I bought an S2000.
2 years later.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Probably like a year and a half ago, I bought an S2000. It was pretty much my first dream car. Let's take it back to when I bought the car. It was April 2016, and I found the car posted for $16,500. At the time, I was really looking for an S2000 under 15 grand. I was really looking for a white exterior with red interior, but it was really hard to find. I think they only made like 2,200 AP2s with the white and red combo. It's Silverstone gray metallic. I'm pretty sure the car has been repainted. You can tell, certain imperfections here and there. But, I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to paint it. I'm going to do a lot of mods to it. I'm going to do a bunch of stuff, and you guys are going to see all of it. The reason behind not doing anything for a year and a half is because I've wanted to make this YouTube channel, and I've wanted to have something to show you guys, and this is one of them. You guys seen I have a 91 240 SX also that I like to drift, and that's going to be pretty much my mainly track car. This is going to turn into road race, autocross, all around everything car. So the car came from Bakersfield. It's about 5 hours away from where I'm from. We're here in beautiful Petaluma. Well, actually, right now we're in Cotati. Sonoma County is where we're from. So the car is originally from Bakersfield. I met him in, I think, Fresno area, either Fresno or Modesto. I don't remember exactly. But I met him there, looked at the car for about 30 minutes. I sat in the car with my dad talking to him about it for about 30 minutes. I couldn't really make up my mind if I wanted to buy it. So at that point, I was just like, fuck it, why not? I've always wanted S2000. Everything about it was pretty much perfect. Relatively low miles, relatively stock. I didn't really like the silver, but it's common, so they were out there available. I'm gonna be painting the car anyways, so I'm not too worried about the paint job. Because I'm gonna, in my eyes, perfect it to how I want it. So when I bought the car, it had 99,000 miles on it. Actually, when I called the guy, it had 99,000 miles on it, and because I met him at a halfway point, it actually rolled over to 100,000. It was like 40 miles over 100,000, so give or take, I bought it at 100,000. Right now, it has 121,000. And I'm pretty much doing this video because I saw, a couple other people doing I bought S2000 videos at the time. But this is kind of more of like I bought an S2000 video 20,000 miles later. So getting back to it, I bought it with 99,000 miles. I bought it it was originally posted for 16,500, and I walked away with it for 14,250. There's a lot of things the guy didn't mention in the ad, so when I got there, I pointed out a lot of things. I was kind of disappointed, but you win some, you lose some. So long story short, I took it for a test drive for about 10-15 minutes. I just kind of knew that the drivetrain, the engine, it just felt solid. Fuck it, you cause. Yeah, so it just felt solid, so I knew I wanted it. The downfall was the paint job because it's been repainted, and some of you guys know this, some of you guys don't, but I work in the auto body and paint field, so I can see a lot of the repairs, and someone like me, I don't really like that. I don't like looking at a car and seeing the repairs, so this thing's going to get torn down actually relatively soon and repainted. So keep in touch, and if you want to see it painted, press that little red button. So when I bought it, it was pretty much stock. The only aftermarket things that I saw is, as you can tell, it might be a little lower than some stock S2000s. It's on Swift Spec R springs. They're actually a very, very high quality spring, so I'm glad the previous owner took a little bit of initiative to buy a quality part for a quality car. Also, there's a Mishimoto aluminum radiator in there with dual E-fans. It just, it keeps the car cool. I've never seen it spike over I've never seen it go more than half, but I've never even seen it reach half, so I know it's doing its job. Things I've done to it since I've bought it. I haven't really done anything. I've bought a lot of things for it, and I'm gonna start putting them on. I kind of want you guys, to see what I have, and it's gonna turn into Not a show car, not a track car, not a daily driver. It's going to be all of the above. I'm going to take it to shows. I'm going to take it to the track. I'm going to daily drive it. Three things I've done to it. Maintain it, install an aftermarket intake, and remove the catalytic converter. Why did I do those things? Maintaining is the number one thing that you should do to your vehicle at all times. It just keeps it running good. I installed an aftermarket intake because my stock intake was actually tearing at the crankcase ventilation hole or port, whatever you want to call it. It was actually tearing, so I was getting a check engine light, so I had to install the intake that I had bought for it. I also removed the cat because I got an O2 sensor code, so I went to go replace the O2 sensor as one would do. As I was replacing the O2 sensor, I noticed a couple weird things, and one of them was I unscrewed the O2 sensor and I saw the honeycomb like there. I just looked in the hole and I see the honeycomb. Another thing is I pulled out the O2 sensor and the tip was gone. I really wish I wish I could show you these parts right now. And so two things were wrong at once. The honeycomb in my cat was starting to break down and move back, and it actually chopped off the top of the O2 sensor. Pretty stupid, but what's done and done. So I didn't want to install the cat back on because I'm gonna have to smog the car in like 6 months. It came with a test pipe off the car, and so I installed that so I didn't have to put the cat back on to try to save the life of the cat, because once I go to smog it, I don't want to have to buy a brand new cat. So hopefully I can save this one and not spend like $600-700 on a catalytic converter. But those are pretty much the only few things I've done in this car so far. Other than that, I've driven the living fuck out of it. Ever since I've bought it, I've been driving back roads and driving a bunch of just mountain windy twisty roads. I definitely I have a limit for people driving back roads. I know it's not really worth it in the long run if you were to get in trouble or hurt someone or something, or even yourself, but I definitely know the limits of my car. Anyone who's watching this video, just comment down below something you want me to see done, or something you want to see done with this car. And if it's something that I already have, I'm gonna make that video for you. I'm gonna make that video. If you need to be informational, I will. Long story short, if you guys have any questions or want to see anything done with this car, please comment below. Throughout my whole life, I've always wanted an S2000. I remember when I was like 12 years old, leaving Denny's with my family and seeing a yellow S2000 driving through the intersection, and I was like, Dad, I want that. What's funny is he was like, have fun paying like $50,000 for a car. But as time goes on, some cars lose their value. These don't really lose their value, but when I was ready to buy one, my price range and the average budget for an S2000 was around 15 grand, 20 grand. I've always been into cars. It started with anything from rollerblades to skateboards to scooters to bicycles to pocket bikes to go-peds to motorized bikes. Anything I can physically put my hands on that makes me get from point A to point B is something I enjoy. My whole life I have bought things to fix them, bought things to trade them, bought things to flip them, and for a while I was buying and selling cars. I think I've owned 18 cars. If I had to sit down and write everything I've owned, it'd probably be around that number. And with that being said, a lot of them have been similar cars just because I like how a car feels. I like feeling the road, and I like being able to control the car. So the first car I ever bought was a 93 Civic hatchback VX or a CX model with a D16 single cam VTEC swap. 15 cars later, I bought an S2000. After I graduated UTI and I was in the auto body trade for about 2 years, I started to realize I don't know if I want to do this for my whole life. I love it, but I also love it as a hobby more than I love it as a job or a career. And this is kind of cheesy, but this is where YouTube comes into play. If I can get an audience and I can grasp you guys to follow my builds, maybe I don't have to work my hobby or my passion as an everyday job. I can paint cars for fun. But even if I don't get anywhere with YouTube, I'm still having fun trying, and I know I have a trade that it's never gonna really let me down. But I really, really, really would love it if you guys liked, comment, or subscribed, any of the above. I would love to do a Q&A video. It'd be fun to see what the audience have to ask, you know, anything from how many, I've said I've owned 15 cars. You can ask what they were, my fastest car, my most fun car, I don't know, anything. Where I'm going in life, what I have been doing, I don't know. There's a lot of questions out there and people love to ask them, but they're too shy to really open up. So don't be shy, comment down below, and let's get the ball rolling on things. I'd love to share my life with you, and I'd hope, you guys wouldn't mind doing the same with me. This is gonna be a beginning to a never-ending project.